What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the CBSI Hot 10 List Show for January 24th, 2020. I am Brian McClay. I am joined with the man, the myth, the legend, the writer of the Hot 10 List, Ben Stein. And for those of you guys that don't know, for those of you guys that don't know, we are part of CBSI Presents Tales from the FlipSide crew. You can join us every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the same channel. And we're just going to go ahead and get into it tonight. But first, we are going to talk about our giveaway for this week. The book that we are giving away, for those of you guys that don't know, you can go to comicbookinvest.com and check out the CBSI exclusive variants. But today we're going to give away an oldie but goodie, Undiscovered Country #1, the one-stop shop variant. For those of you guys that don't know how this usually works, if we get a really funny, cool, interesting comment in the live chat on the YouTube page, we will usually pick one of those. And if we don't get something in there, we will go back to our backups, which is on the CBS or the comicbookinvest.com page under the Hot 10 list itself, which is on the right side here. You guys can just click on the Hot 10 list for this week and go down to the bottom, put in a comment, and you might win a comic. So other than that, we are going to move forward. And Ben, take it away, brother.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It was a rough week for me, personally. So I do apologize. I was looking at the list and I had all kinds of typos and pictures. I messed all kinds of stuff up this week, so I apologize for any of those mishaps.
I don't think Joe Winfrey is gonna mind too much. He's 5 beers and 2 tequila.
And it's early. It's only 11:30.
Yeah.
All right, so we will we'll start off here with our first honorable mention. It's our Golden Age book for this week, and I went with This Magazine is Haunted, number 16. This was a Fawcett, I believe, Fawcett or Harvey. I think it was a Fawcett Charlton, not Harvey, Fawcett Charlton series back in the day. This is a Steve Ditko cover, and it reminds me of L.B. Cole with some of the colors and stuff like that. But it's a pretty crazy looking cover with like some like zombie people at the bottom of the ocean or something. I'm not really sure what's exactly going on here.
Lots of color.
Yeah, it's crazy looking. There's some other really good covers from this series as well. So if you just kind of see it as, oh, this magazine is haunted, that's not really like mainstream or whatever, but there's some pretty good pre-code horror covers in there. So but this one in particular, there was a 5.5 that sold this week for $4,000. Which I mentioned in the article that it's kind of laughable that the Overstreet guide has a 6.0 listed at the value at $150. So it's kind of funny on that one. But the kind of I use as a reference, there was an 8.5 that sold quite a while. I mean, it was back in 2013, so 7 years ago. But an 8.5 sold for less than $1,000. So
wow.
Yeah, now 5.5s are going for $4,000. So who knows what that 8.5 would go for?
Again, we talk about it every week, but man, these Golden Age books, people start doing a little bit better job at looking out for these guys, because you never know when you're going to walk up on one of these.
Can you imagine getting in on the ground floor on these? I mean, not even the ground floor, just from 10 years ago, the profit that you'd be making on those.
See, I always picture somebody walking into a old dusty flea market, and there being not even a comic box, just a box, with a bunch of magazines, and going through the magazines, and you find like a stack of these type of books where most people wouldn't know that these books are worth a ton of money unless they have major characters on them, Batman, Superman, yada, yada, Mad Magazine. They don't know what, if they're really worth anything, and really don't care a lot of the times. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how many people have stories like that where they've walked into some crazy store and there's a box on the ground full of Golden Age glory.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine. Any Golden Age book I've ever gotten, I've paid full price for. So,
Yeah.
Yep. The other honorable mention this week just came out this week. Actually, it is Web of Venom, The Good Son #1, the Gerardo Is it Gerardo or Gerardo?
I couldn't tell you.
I'm gonna go with Gerardo.
Yeah.
Like the what was it, the singer back in the 90s, Gerardo.
Gerardo, yeah.
Sandoval 1 in 25 variant. It's a 1 in 25. It's a kind of an odd looking cover to me.
I like this character though. I think this is a great character. I don't know. One of the books that I picked up recently just to flip through it because I got a couple issues from, shout out to Slabbed Heroes. In with my recent order at Slabbed Heroes, they included a bunch of books that they didn't send to the grading, and some of them were the Venom books with this character in them, and I just kind of started reading them, and I really like this character. I like the symbiote that they're using with him. It's kind of like his protector, but still a symbiote type thing, and I like how they're doing the whole good son vibe. I used to think that movie was so creepy back in the day. So
was that the Macaulay Culkin one?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Creepy movie.
Yeah, anytime you have a kid that's evil is just creepy.
Yeah, and everybody's going crazy because of Venom, but it's a new character and it's kind of a cool character. So I could see this shooting up there for being a ratio variant.
Yeah, I mean $30 to $40, and that's why it's kind of on the honorable mention. I mean, it's doing well, but not super well. But who knows? Who knows if 30-40 is the basement or the ceiling on this? I don't know.
Yep,
but
that's cool.
That's where it's at for right now. But all right, some weird news and stuff. Yeah, news this week on quite a few of these books. So at number 10. We got Justice League Dark #1. Okay, so I'm so confused on why people would collect first appearance of teams. 2, what constitutes the first appearance of a team. But so I guess it's kind of. I mean, it is kind of cool that it's the #1 of. This is the first solo Justice League Dark series, correct?
Yes.
So in that sense, it's kind of cool.
A matter of fact, I don't think anybody really knew about that team until this book came out. I mean, it was just a Swamp Thing book, before this book came out. I don't think it was a very big book until this book came out. And a matter of fact, I don't think many people knew about it. So,
yeah. So this was a couple years ago. This kind of saw some heat, and then it pretty much just fell off the face and went back into, less than $10 books.
I think that also happened because of Guillermo del Toro backing away from doing the movie. If you remember correctly,
right. Okay. Yep.
That Guillermo del Toro movie. Also, this is a very tough book to find in high grade. It's a very tough book to find in high, especially that second printing. I think there's a second printing variant
with the red.
Yeah. Very tough to find that book in a high grade and this book in high grade. So, but again, that Guillermo del Toro news falling through really caused this book to take a dive.
Yeah. So this week it was announced that I guess Bad Robot is working with Warner Brothers to, which if that's really what's happening, I think that's a good thing. Anything J.J. Abrams touches, I think is usually solid. So. Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers on this one because I've always been a huge Swamp Thing and Deadman fan, and if I can see a movie where those two characters are not front and center, but big part of the movie, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think probably the casting of Zatanna would probably be the make or break on this. I think that's probably the draw.
Well, like we said, this has been a spec book in the past, but I agree with you, Ben. If they get a casting of Zatanna, this book could just, this book and all the little books that follow along with it, and that the spec for this book could just go crazy.
Yep. So it did jump back up to over $20 this week. So that's kind of why it made the list this week.
Very cool.
All right. Number 9, got Captain America 354. It could have been a couple other books that has to do, with John Walker, but this is the one I went with. One, because I think it's a pretty cool cover. But what happened was, I guess, I don't know if it was on Twitter. I guess it was on Twitter. Maybe it was on Instagram. Somebody posted a picture of John Walker on set on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier set, and I guess John Walker was holding Captain's shield, but he was in full U.S. agent costume. So.
And yeah, it's kind of funny because the picture looks exactly like Cap, except for a couple of changes in the front of the costume. But
yeah, so I think it's most likely he was either just holding the shield for whatever reason. I don't necessarily think that's going to be part of the show, but it looks like clearly this character is going to be a decent part of this show. So what they do with it, I have no idea, but anytime something like that pops up, the books, that are kind of related to that, kind of pop for that week or whatever.
Well,
so
also the other books that you're talking about are Captain America 323. Does that sound right? I know it's the Captain America with the Marvel border.
Yeah, 323 and 333 are kind of all tied into it. So I guess 323 is the first appearance of John Walker. 333 is the first time John Walker was Captain America, and then 354 is the first time he was U.S. agent, which is his lasting character.
Yep.
So, anyways, so they went from a $5 to $10 book up to $15-$20, which is kind of the norm anymore for a book that pops. Kind of
probably a tough book to get in high grade considering the black cover.
All black, yeah. Yep.
All right.
And I just want to go kind of circle back, and Joe Winfrey did say Alexandra Daddario for Zatanna. That would be
awesome.
Yeah, that would probably be decent, but I don't know. We'll see how they do that. Which kind of we're circling back to this here at number 8 is Swamp Thing number 50. Again, it's so confusing trying to figure out these first team appearances. Honestly, and I put this in the article, unless it's Avengers or Justice League main team, these team first appearances just don't really have much most of the time, because these teams are fluid, and that's kind of where this and the Justice League Dark number 1 kind of fall in. Is yes, okay, this may have been the first team appearance, but the members of this team are not the current members, and they probably won't. I don't know whether or not they're going to be the first members in either a movie or a show or whatever.
Well, even this book, like you said, has a little bit of weirdness with it, because it was at issue 49 that also has them showing up, these characters showing up at the end of the book. And then there's also I think there's an annual from Swamp Thing. I think it's Swamp Thing annual 2 or 3 that also has them showing up together.
Right. So. And it's just kind of confusing. CGC doesn't notate any of these things at all, which unfortunately or fortunately, a lot of people don't. If CGC doesn't say it, then it's not true. Yeah. So it's a tough one, but this book is kind of it's been the same roller coaster as Justice League Dark number 1. It's gone up and down every time people start jumping on it, and right now it's up again.
We'll see what happens. Like I said, or like you said, Ben, if the Abrams movie happens, this could be a big book, bigger than it has been in the past, bigger than it was when Guillermo del Toro was rumored to be making the movie.
Yeah, I think Abrams is he's one of those filmmakers that is, like like Christopher Nolan or something like that, that they can do things with movies that most other people can't, and they just put out quality no matter what. And they're not going to allow those crappy Zack Snyder scripts or something like that to happen. They have decent scripts. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. So this one's kind of I'll give props to Peter Renner on this one. This is Amazing Fantasy number 7, which there's been quite a few of these Amazing Fantasy books now. Now that, I mean, what was it, 5 years ago when Amadeus Cho finally, got some kind of notoriety? But I mean, now there's, Amazing Fantasy 1 with Aranya, now Amazing Fantasy 7. What was the other one? 9 or something like that, or 10?
Yeah.
It had the I can't even remember the character, but it was another one of these, kind of French characters. But it definitely appears that Marvel is mining these characters. But I was as I think Peter mentioned in his article, it's not this one's kind of always kind of looked at because of this female Scorpion character, but this is not why this one's hot right now. It's hot because of this Monica Rappaccini, who has already been cast in the MODOK animated Disney Plus show. So, which I had to actually, since I don't read this, don't read a whole lot of Marvel, I had to look up who she was, and she's apparently some kind of scientist villain, kind of. And I guess at one time worked with Bruce Banner and stuff like that, but is now on the evil side. So, yeah. So
big shout out to, like you said, to Peter Renner. For those of you guys that don't know, go to the comicbookinvest.com site and check out Peter's articles there. He, like Ben was saying, he talked about this one in the latest Dollar Bin Digging article, Dollar Bin Digging 72. He's got a nice little write up on it, so make sure you guys go check that out.
And you probably can still. I mean, most of the time, if you find back issues that have Amazing Fantasy, they're missing 15 with Cho, but everything else is generally still there. So, which if you didn't know, I think it's 16 to the end of the run. I think our Perio covers.
Nice.
I believe. I think if I remember right, I think that's true, but I don't know. Okay, number 6, and it's we're just mining. We're just going.
I know,
man. This is like a roller coaster ride this week. I don't know. It's these books that were once hot and now are, then got cold and then are now hot again. So, we got Vengeance number 1, first appearance of America Chavez.
Beautiful cover.
It is a very good looking Delato cover.
Love Magneto covers.
But apparently it was I don't know if it's reported or if it's rumors. I sometimes those blurred lines get
even more blurred.
Yeah, even more blurred anymore. I can't. Some of the sites that you think are legit are not actually legit at all. Yeah. So it's hard to even tell anymore. But apparently the rumor is that America Chavez will be in the Doctor Strange movie,
which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's not where I would have thought that she would have showed up, but I honestly think that Doctor Strange movie could have all kinds of characters, since it's going to be kind of tapping into the multiverse and stuff like that. So who knows what could come out of that movie? Yeah. I'm actually, of all the upcoming Marvel movies, that's kind of, even though I'm not like a Doctor Strange fan, that's kind of the one I'm looking forward to the most, just because of the craziness that could actually go on in that movie.
And hopefully they do stick with the horror aspect. I know there's a lot of rumors going around right now that they're shelving that idea to do the horror thing. I really hope that's not true, because I think that's another reason why it was so fresh and everybody was looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is, like I said, back up on top of the hill, the roller coaster right now. Back up to $50 raw, back up to $350 for 9/8. This is kind of where it was 8 9 months ago or 7 months ago or whenever it was, back last summer. I can't even think what month. We're almost in February.
Jeez.
So I know. Yeah. So if you haven't got, I mean, there was, I remember 6-7 years ago, maybe not even that long ago, maybe 5 years ago, you could still find these. They were not that hard to find. I never did find the variant though.
That's what I was about to say. That variant was a hard one to find.
Yeah, I never found the variant. The thing about that variant is that this is another one of these where I think the regular cover is that. Now, granted, I hate the trade dress where they've got a big black bar on the bottom of it. I mean, just if they would have left it as like an entire cover with Magneto, I think this would even be a better book. But that big black bar at the bottom is just terrible. But
it really goes to show how good Dell'Otto. I mean, you kind of get tired of them when they're on every book, 3 books a week, but it really goes to show how good Dell'Otto is when he has this small of an area, to work with on the cover, and he still kills it. So,
yeah.
It sounds like this was a 26,000 print run. Does that sound right? I don't know. So
I'll be honest. I don't know. I found quite a few of them years ago. I don't find them anymore after, everybody hoarded them at that point, but I did find several of them. So I don't know if 26,000 is legit or not. Yeah. I really don't know.
Well, another newer book on the list is
another. Yep. Yeah, this one came out this week as well. This is the Ji-Hung Lee 1 in 50 variant.
This is kind of interesting. This one, we were talking about it before the show, and one of the things that was interesting that I saw in a forum on Reddit was that this says this cover features Nomura facing off with Luna Snow, the fan favorite South Korean K-pop sensation who debuted in the popular mobile role-playing game Marvel Future Fight in 2018. Very interesting. Shout out to FMV13 from Reddit, who posted that information that I did not know about. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know much about these kind of, and we kind of read the synopsis of this book, and it's a lot of the Asian, the Asian heroes and stuff in there. I guess this is like a fight with Namor and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure what the story is actually about, but
beautiful cover.
Yeah, if you do want, there was a Nomura like a mini series. Gosh, it's been or maybe it was just a single issue. I can't remember. Quite a while ago. It was. Let me look here.
I don't know what it is, and this is gonna sound funny, but man, the snowflakes on this cover really look. They really pop. They really look good. I don't know what it is about those, but it looks cool. So,
okay, so it was a one shot back in 2010. For Namora, but there is a variant to that cover. But there's a really nice the original cover. It looks like it's a Stephanie Hans. It's I don't know how to show this. How do I do that?
You just go ahead and hit share screen on the bottom there.
Share screen.
Yep, and then it'll have you choose it. And I'll go ahead and pull this guy off.
So this was the one shot. This is the regular cover.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like I said, it says Stephanie Hans, and then this is the variant, which I can't really. It says it's signed by Ramona Fraden.
Oh, I like the non-variant better.
Yeah, so there's,
that is beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever, to be honest, I'm not sure I've ever actually seen it. I remember there was, and I thought it was a miniseries, but it was just a one shot. But I don't ever remember seeing this book. So I don't. But I mean, it's only they've got a few on my comic shop here. They're in VF, but for $5. But
that's a nice book.
Yeah. So if you're kind of into that, and I don't know whether or not they're bringing her back or what, I'm not really sure.
All right, on to another new book, but another beautiful cover.
Batman Beyond number 40. Let's see. You show the. Is this the?
This is the B cover, I believe.
Yeah, this is the B cover.
Yeah, I believe so.
Is that March? Is that who that is? Or
yeah, FJ. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember who the B cover is. They're both selling about the same, about $10 to $15. I was asking Brian this before the show, just to double check, and there's no true first appearance in this. This is just a reveal issue. So I guess it's been kind of building up to this, but I don't really know why you would spend $15 to $20 on a reveal issue.
Yeah. Well, it is a beautiful cover. I get it. I get the reveal is a fan favorite thing. Spoilers. It's this has been spoiled all over the place, but the character that they revealed is a fan favorite, type of character. But like Ben was saying, we were looking at it before. Other than the beautiful cover and the reveal, this character was first appearance in the series was 20 issues before this or 15 issues before this.
It's right there, number 3. Yeah, number 3. Yeah, at Batman Beyond 25.
So, I mean, 2 beautiful covers. This is the first appearance of the character who they reveal it to be. We'll maybe play the spoiler game, which I hate for a little bit here, just because the book just came out. But most of you guys know who it is. But yeah, so for those of you guys that are looking, other books that you might want to be on the lookout for are issues 36 and 37. Which are selling nice, and of course the issue 25, and then of 40. So I like the B cover much better than the standard cover. The standard cover is kind of cool, but just the look of the purple, red, and black on the background, just beautiful cover. So
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if you could see it and you can pick it up and you can make a quick flip on it, but I just cannot see that number 40 being anything long term.
It depends. I mean, what do they plan on doing with this character? They plan on keeping her around. Sometimes I don't understand why they would introduce another character when your main character is still, there's no reason to do it. Who knows? But yeah, as Chad says, just another crazy book to get in a 9.8 because of the black cover. But man, that would look good in a 9.8 case. That's for sure.
It's a good. I mean, that the B cover that's a good looking cover for sure. Yeah. But I mean, has anybody really ever cared about Batwoman?
No, I'm not Batwoman Beyond. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like you said, yeah. It is what it is.
Hey, it is. And hey, if you're making money off of it, good for you.
Yep.
Good. You get way more patience than I do, probably.
Yeah. So number 2 is a big book for me, though.
And, all right. So, we'll kind of try and get it. You probably know more than I do. Number 2 is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, number 9. So there's some other people are saying, and I don't, like I said, I don't know I don't know the full history of the Star Wars lore and all this stuff, but some people are saying that the first appearance of this Darth Revan is Star Wars Tales number 23.
So So for those of you guys that don't know, the first cameo appearance of Darth Revan, they're saying, is in that Star Wars Tales number 23, which also they're saying is the first cameo appearance of Darth Malak. It's a tough book to get in high grade, and it does have 2 covers. It has a movie cover and then a drawing cover. And let me show you guys a pic of that book here real quick. That Star Wars Tales series is an amazing series. A lot of really cool books that you can get in that series that have a lot of cool firsts. Let me go ahead and do this. There we go. So this right here is the first. I gotta move this over here. So this is the first cameo appearance, supposedly, of Darth Malak and Darth Revan. Star Wars Tales number 23. That's the drawing cover, and then there is the B cover, I guess you would call it. Let's see if I can get a better. Anyways, you guys can see there's the movie cover. But another book that people are talking about is, let's see here, this cover right here, which is also a cameo first appearance. This Knights of the Old Republic / Rebellion sampler that they gave out. It was kind of a freebie book that they gave out when these two series started. And this is actually from comicbookrealm.com. And you can see right here, it says Darth Revan in comics, full appearance. So I don't know if what the fight is over that being his first appearance, but that's a huge character in the Star Wars lore. And like we were talking before the show, if some of these characters they do use and they should use, man, these books are just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, and I would probably, just because I don't have any of these books, I would probably kind of just lean on what Topher said, because because he has all these, and that's why he posted it. So there's most of the time, if he's done the research on it, it's probably pretty solid.
Yeah, whenever he stamps his name of approval on there,
So maybe in those other books, maybe it is just a very small cameo. I'm not really sure, but all I know is this week, this book did jump, from like cover price to like $30 or whatever. So,
Dennis Hayes makes a great comment here. He says, there needs to be a page dedicated to which Star Wars books to get. I can never keep up with the mess. So, Dennis, I'm going to do you a favor here. And let's go ahead and show you this. If you go on over to the CBSI comicbookinvest.com website, of course, go down a few scrolls, and let's see here if I can find it. Did I already go past it?
Yeah, I think you went past it.
Jesus is terrible. Where is it? Walker Report. If you go by, there is exactly what you're asking for. A huge, amazing article for Star Wars characters.
Right, it's right where the right next to the Black Panther. The sketch. Keep going up.
Usual Suspects? No,
keep going up. Keep going up. Keep going up. Keep going up.
There we go. There we go. Thank you, brother. I would have taken that whole time for that. So if you clicked on Star Wars comic first appearance master list, this is an amazing amazing for all the first appearances in all the Star Wars books. It goes back to the Marvel first appearances, where you've got, for example, Star Wars Marvel, from the Marvel issues number 41, first time Yoda shows up in the shadows, and first Lando appearance. You got all that stuff, but then it goes into some of the Dark Horse stuff where it just starts getting really fun. You get some of the cool characters. The first Aya Sakura, the first Asajj. I don't know how you say her name, Asajj Ventress. The first twins.
Hey, I love Star Wars, but man, these characters I've never even heard of. I have no idea who they are.
Well, some of the books that we've already spec'd on before are some of these Star Wars Dark Empire books for the Jaina and Jason Solo characters, the Anakin Solo characters. Fortunately, that didn't pan out because it went where they went with the movies. But man, some of these old, newer Dark Horse books, like the Dark Times and the Legacy and all that stuff, have some really good. The Star Wars tales have some really good stuff. Of course, the new Vader series. But anyways, Dennis, this is a great resource where you can find a ton of information. And if these characters start showing up in the movies or the small screen, like Ben was saying, man, the sky's the limit. So make sure you guys go check out that stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, on with the number one book this week, which we were talking before the show. This was a nice surprise to see for me because I was a big fan, and that is Fear Agent #1.
Fear Agent #1, yeah, it's a Rick Remender book, and I guess it was picked up as a show for Amazon Prime,
which is awesome.
Yeah, so, which, man, I tell you what, these streaming services they're doing a really good job of some of these things, but I don't know. I mean, it's just I think this is a weird time to be in. As far as if you're trying to speculate on things that are being picked up on options and stuff, and it's hard to know like which ones are gonna actually be good and not good, and it's really difficult.
I think that this has an amazing shot at being, kind of like the Umbrella Academy type thing, where the storylines in that Rick Remender and I'll throw Tony Moore in there because Tony Moore did a lot of the art. I don't know if he did all of it, but he did most of it, I think. But Rick Remender just killed it in this series. It has the horror, the space adventure, the action, just crazy plots. But the science / horror, like 1950s era type, homages that it does, and just really cool stuff. And I think this is perfect for Amazon Prime or Netflix. Perfect for that.
Yeah, and this is a great cover, Frazetta homage. From was it Weird Science Fantasy?
Yep.
I can't remember
probably
which
the most famous Weird Science Fantasy he did. Right?
I can't think of which number it is off the top of my head. 30. Somewhere, I don't remember. Anyways, it's a great homage. But I was trying to look at the when you pulled up the picture, I was trying to look. Did they say something like after Frazetta on the cover? Because I don't see it.
I don't see it, but that's a great point.
I see his signature down like in the bottom right hand corner, but I can't tell whether or not it said something like after Frazetta.
Yeah, I can't see anything on there. I'll have to go see. I was talking with Ben before the show. I can't remember if I saved my my issues of this or not, and I'm gonna have to go digging through some stuff to look for them. So
yeah, but anyways, after that announcement came out, these before last week, this was selling for like about $15, and there's an RRP with a half the cut to go the right direction. Half like corner to corner is like black or whited out or something. So a regular cover sold for $15, RRP sold for $25, and now this is a $40 plus book, and the RRPs are $65 or more. So I don't know the print. I don't remember the print run on this.
I don't think it was very large. But I will say this. We've been talking about this series on FlipSide for a while now. I know big shout out to Paul W. He's been a big fan of this book. He picked up, if I remember correctly, we were talking about maybe reading this as something we could, read and talk about on the show. And there's two compendium, big absolute type omnibus versions of this that sometimes you can find for really cheap, that are just gorgeous, hardcover, thick bound. There's
an ash can as well, isn't there?
I'm not sure. That's a great question. Let's take a look here. If there is, man, that would be a great book to pick up.
I probably should have looked, and I guess I could look just real fast before we end the show. I just want to see what the print run was on this, because I don't honestly remember. Let me see if I can.
So there is. It does say that there's an ash can, and I don't know, when this came out or whatnot. But Looks like over at GCD, it's showing Fear Agent Ashcan. And here you guys can see the cover of it, which is kind of interesting. But if that's the case, man, that would be a great book to pick up too.
So yeah, so it looks like, I don't know if this was 2005, right?
Yes, 2005. You got it.
So I'm trying to just do a quick. So in 2006 was issue number 5, and it only had a print run of. So maybe I'll just back up a few months here. I apologize. I should have looked this up before. That issue number 5 only had, and that was a resolicit. So I'm not really sure what the print run was on this, but
I don't remember it being too big, but I couldn't tell you. Maybe
this is a resolicit, so I don't know whether or not that includes any other, but it only shows a print run of 5,400.
Gotcha.
So, I just was trying to figure out whether or not this was a print run along the lines of Walking Dead, or maybe not as big as Saga or anything like that, but yeah, I was just trying to see if it was anywhere close to that 8,000 to 9,000 print run. Because if it is, that would definitely be something to just kind of pick up and just sit on.
I've actually seen a couple of times in shops where you'll find this in the whole, the whole series will be there. So there wasn't very many books in the initial series. So I don't know how lucky that will happen nowadays, but make sure you guys go and check out your bins for Fear Agent. So very cool book.
Well, thank you everybody in the chat and everything like that, and joining live, or anybody that's watching after the fact. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Chad asked a really good question. He says, "What is an ash can?" Can you explain what an ash can is before we call it a night here, Ben?
Well, back in the forever ago, they were just these little miniature kind of promo books that they sent out to retailers. Usually back then the paper quality was kind of crappy, and basically it was something you threw away in the trash can. So that's kind of where it became like ash can. It
was like a preview to let people see, if they want to check it out when it comes out in a couple months type deal, right?
Right. So
there was a lot of ash cans for a lot of the early Image books, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was that. There was because they kind of started getting collectible, I guess, back in like the early mid 90s. People were actually wanting them. Like several of those Image books have like different color ash cans and stuff like that. So, and then Wizard started putting ash cans in their magazine itself. So,
I remember that. Yeah, that became a thing that they kind of capitalized on.
Yeah, but all right.
Yeah. So, we appreciate everybody checking out the show. Make sure you comment and let us know what you think of it. We do have a book to give away tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of these comments here. All right, so I am going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do this. Let's do. This was a kind of a good one. Let's go ahead and give Joe Winfrey a free book here tonight. I liked his comment talking about Zatanna. If Zatanna gets cast like you were saying, Ben, and it's a somebody that they cast well, I could see those Justice League Dark books start to go crazy. So I am actually gonna go ahead and we're gonna give you a free book for that comment this week, Joe. Make sure you contact us on social media or at CBSI FlipSide at gmail.com. Give us your information, the date of the show, and the book that you won, which is, let's go ahead and do this. The one-stop shop variant for what did I say?
Oh, the Undiscovered Country.
Undiscovered Country. Thank you, sir. So Undiscovered Country #1 from One Stop Shop. We will get you that book out there as soon as we can. So we appreciate you guys all watching, and make sure you check out CBSI Presents Tales from the FlipSide every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And
hey, before we close it out, Fear Agent 1 had a print run of 7,643.
so there you go. Almost just a little bit more than Walking Dead.
Yeah, so very, very low print.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check out your bins for Fear Agent. And Joe, get in touch with us. We'll get you that book out. We appreciate everybody checking out the show, and we will catch you next time.